Welcome to Scots United, where I, Scott, and my team of Scots, who are also me, bring you the latest in movies, television, and popular culture. So we're here, it's the end of the year, we're queer, and we're about to get into our top 10 list for television for 2019. So now, let's begin with number 10.
Right, there are 3 shows, all had their first season this year, all very interesting, different, unique, eclectic mixes. So let's get into it.
Please.
First we got Pen 15, like penis on a calculator back in the 90s. It's that comedy where the 2 comic actresses who are like 30-ish are playing versions of themselves at around middle school age, but with other middle school aged actors, all about sort of middle school and adolescence and that transition. It's genius. It's a lot more than you think it would be. It's not just like, puberty humor. It's a lot more, and it's really pretty great. Emmy nominated as well.
Love penis. Pen 15. Carry on.
Also, Russian Doll. Natasha Lyonne. Everyone said it's like Groundhog Day. Well, it turned out to be a lot more than that, and interesting, very different. And certainly as it moved forward, it was expanding in an interesting direction as it finished that first season.
Let's not spoil in case people still are catching up and have to see it.
And Dead to Me. Dead to Me is the Christina Applegate, Linda Cardellini comedy on Netflix. It's the tragic comedy that's about grief, and it's a kind of a buddy comedy, but also kind of a thriller with a mystery as well. How did it find a balance of all things? Well, I don't know, but it managed to. And so it definitely deserves a spot on the list as well. The question remains, can Pen 15 continue to be interesting and different and unique with its second season? Can Russian Doll define the rules of its world and continue to kind of evolve in interesting, dynamic ways? Can Dead Like Me continue to strike that balance? Hard to say. They're all second seasons that we want to see and second seasons that we hope live up to the amazing first season.
Number 9 is also a comedy that had its first season, yet somehow we feel like it's just a step above, and that's The Other Two from Comedy Central. We also hope that it'll have an amazing second season. That first season, though, was so laugh-out-loud funny, yet had a lot of commentary on dating, on sort of being who you want to be and how you want to be it. Certainly had a perspective on being gay that you rarely see in modern media, and again, was just really funny with an amazing cast. So if you haven't, please catch up on The Other Two. And now let's go to number 8.
One show that won't be returning for another season after its second is The Tick from Amazon Prime. I didn't really hear a lot of people talk about it, but, watch the first season, watch the second season, and see a show grow and change and evolve. It's funnier, it's richer, the characterizations are more interesting, and it just has a really, really modern take that's honestly moving throughout that second season in ways that are like defying gender, defying romantic norms, and yet it's doing it with a wink and a smile. It's such a good show, and really it deserved better.
Number 7 is a show that is coming back, but for its last season, final season, and that is Schitt's Creek. This show keeps getting better and improving and just richening and deepening the characters, but still being crazy funny. I definitely feel like I'm about to start a rewatch from season 1 just to get ready for the upcoming final season. It's really a gem and something you should be watching.
Number 6 and number 5 are 2 Netflix shows that really aren't getting enough attention. First is Mindhunter. The second season happened. Came about 2 years after the first season because David Fincher produces, and he's very exacting, but it's a portrait of the sort of behavioral sciences coming out of the FBI in the 70s and 80s around investigating serial killers. It's impeccably done, scary, but also not scary, also very much a procedural. Just excellent. And the other is Glow, which had its third season. The timing of when it came out, it was late summer, so it wasn't in contention for any awards or anything, and it's a shame because it continues to be such a great, diverse, funny, surprising show, and just excellently done.
And moving on, 3 and 4 are both limited series, so they're kind of interchangeable, I suppose. On one hand, we have Chernobyl. It's hard to watch. It's so intense, and it's so realistic, and it really seems to adhere to history, and it really has a lot to say for today. It's beautifully acted. It's directed by the same person for every episode, and the continuity of it, it's just incredible. Hard to watch, like I said, but worth watching because of what it communicates, and you see the power that one government, one person can have that can change the scope of the whole planet. The other limited series is Fosse Verdon, which is a totally different limited series, but like the creative leaps they took, the way in which they told that story, the performances, especially by Sam Rockwell and Michelle Williams, amongst a great cast, including Margo and others. It's just like theater and film fused together, and it's like meta, but it just works on so many levels. So see both. Don't choose, see both. And that brings us to number 2 and number 1, a comedy and a drama. We've got to talk about Fleabag, and we've got to talk about Watchmen. Now, Fleabag, captained by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Emmy winner, multiple Emmy winner. It is everything. Season 1 was funny and biting and dramatic and multi-layered and new, and somehow season 2 is all of that and more. There's commentaries on different aspects of being a modern woman, but yet it's never preachy. It's about religion, and yet it's never preachy. It's real, and it's raw, and it's amazing. And if you haven't checked it out, you really should watch both seasons. But season 2 of Fleabag is just that good. And speaking of complicated, strong, interesting female parts, female roles, you have lots of them in Watchmen. Yes, it may be called Watchmen, and the original team was all guys, and Silk Spectre, the one woman. Things are really flipped. You still have some interesting male characters, but you have a lot of dimensional, interesting women. The show made me remember how much I loved The Leftovers and parts of Lost, because Damon Lindelof was the captain of all of those ships, and he really pulled off something dramatic and different and complex with twists and turns and heartfelt and everything, and a final episode that really nailed it. It may be done. They may bring it back. He may not come back if they do more. Maybe it won't be as great, but the first season was truly spectacular. So that's our year in review. Now, it's been a great year. It's been a tough year, as you know. And we're looking on to bigger and better things for 2020. So I'd like to wish you a Happy New Year.